Welcome to the Artful Teaching Podcast, where teachers are brought out of isolation and into conversation.
Here, we spotlight professional educators as both artists and leaders, and examine how the arts deepen student learning and improve school culture.
Education is a demanding field, and we've seen teachers rise to the challenges of their profession by leveraging the arts in the classroom.
Integrating dance, drama, music, visual arts, and media arts can bring so much joy, and we're excited to share that with you.
We're your hosts, Flox
and Heather Francis.
Thanks for joining us to hear various perspectives on the art of teaching.
Welcome back to our series, Resilience for Teachers. I'm Heather Francis, and Callie's here with me again today. Hi, Callie.
Hi, Heather.
And I would like to just give a little more background on the workshops that you do every other Thursday. And you have teachers coming, elementary teachers, arts educators. Last semester was the first semester you did this. You started with breath, which we learned in the previous episode, but what was that experience like for you last semester?
I started the class because I thought, how can I serve these teachers? They are the bravest people ever going out in this COVID year. And what could I do to help? And it was the only thing I could come up with that I could contribute to the current situation with COVID. And it was really interesting. I have a format for the class that, we warm up, we do body things, but we always break out into breakout sessions. And for the first few weeks, I ended up in a breakout room where every teacher told me they spent every day during the week crying. And the year was hard. People were solving, the cognitive load was overwhelming by the time you were managing all of the new COVID rules and keeping yourself safe, your family safe, and your students safe. It's been a really hard year. And as we've gone through the year and the teachers have mastered how to clean their room, how to manage their materials, how to pass out papers, you can't use student helpers because no one can touch the papers, all of those things that they had to manage, their cognitive load decreased as they mastered managing a simple day, and their worry decreased as they learned what worked and what didn't work. And over time, the teachers' resilience was restored and was built, and their capacity was increased to manage the stress and the trauma of COVID. And I watched that during the class. They would come, and the ones who kept coming back would say, oh my goodness, I just don't know what I would do without this. Just to take 1 hour a week for me to focus has really made a difference. And that gave me all the reason I needed to keep going. What I have found is a lot of people, probably 4 times more people, sign up for the class than actually attend. So the next semester we had, I think the first semester we had around 60 sign up, and right now I have 90 signed up for this semester. But the largest class I've had is 25. And sometimes the class gets as small as 7 or 8. Because life is hard, and a class wouldn't be a resilience class if you had to attend, regularly. So we try to make each class a standalone session.
The fact that people sign up, they show interest, they want to be involved, they want to take time for themselves, but teachers need flexibility where so much of their day is structured. They need that flexibility. And so that's why we chose to make this a podcast series, because some teachers who really can't make it in the evening hour, they can have these podcasts and listen to them on their way to work or whenever is convenient for them. So
that's exactly why I wanted to do the podcast. The teachers who don't make it, I get emails from them. Oh, I wish I could make it. Just your emails help. At least I'm thinking about resilience and getting some of these ideas. So the purpose of this podcast is to give teachers more flexibility and reminders for those who do come, and some additional information for those who can't attend.
Right. And listeners, if you want to sign up for these events, or if you even just want to be on Callie's mailing list where she gives a recap at the end of each session for those who signed up, we'll put the link in the show notes for you so that you can go and also be on the newsletter list and just be in touch with Callie if you'd like to. So let's get started with today's topic. Callie gave an excellent workshop at the beginning of this semester titled Inside, Outside, and Upside Down.
So our first class, we focused on what's happening inside the body compared to what's happening on the outside of the body. So to take our listeners today through a part of that activity, I'm going to do one of the little warm-up activities that we did so people can sit comfortably in a chair or stand and do this with me if they'd like. So I want you to look at your hands and imagine that there's marbles in each of your fingertips. And let those marbles roll down into your hand and into your wrist. And then extend your arms up over your head so that those marbles go up your arms and into your shoulders. Drop your arms back down and feel those marbles moving up and down your arms back into your fingertips. Put your arms back up over your head and let those marbles roll down your arms through your elbows and into your shoulders. Now let those marbles swirl around and move up and down your arms and your hands however they want to, massaging those muscles, stroking those tendons, and let those marbles swirl and twirl inside of your arms. Now, those marbles get to stay hard and slick, or they could go soft and gentle and smooth or fluffy. While we do the rest of the exercise, let those marbles transform. So allow your hands to float over your head so those marbles run back down through your wrists and through your elbows into your shoulders, and circle your shoulders so those marbles come into your chest, and let a few of them float up into your neck so they're massaging your neck muscles up into your head. Let those marbles spin around in your head, massaging your eyeballs, massaging the inside of your ears, the roof of your mouth, through the sinus cavity, and let the softness of those marbles massage and smooth the tissues as they pass through your head. And now allow all those marbles down through your neck. You can swallow and allow them to expand in your chest. And remember that these marbles are only limited by your imagination. They can be soft and gentle, or they can be smooth with pressure as you choose. So let them go down through your chest, massaging around your heart and following your aorta, down into your lungs. Let them run down around your rib cage. Maybe they do a few laps around your ribs, rolling down like a roller coaster, and into your abdomen, into your stomach or kidneys or liver, and massaging around the outside of each of your organs to smooth them and relax them, down into your pelvis, and allow all of the marbles to go down one leg. Let them go down your thigh, massaging all of those muscles into your knee and into your calf, and down to your foot, landing in the ends of your toes, and then invite them back up through your foot, massaging each of those metatarsal, massaging between the bones, stroking the muscles into your heel, up into your ankle, through your calf, through your knee, and back to your thigh. And they settle in your pelvis. Feel the weight of them in your pelvis. Rock them back and forth. Move your hips to swish those around, and allow them to roll down your other leg into your thigh, into your knee. They can spin and turn like on a roller coaster. They can swirl like they're flushing down a drain pipe into your calf, stroking the muscles, smoothing the bone, into your heel, into your foot, around each of those bones in the foot, all the way to the ends of your toes. And now relax that foot into the floor and send them back up the other way, back to your calf and your knee and your thigh, till they're settled in your pelvis. And now let the marbles settle in your pelvis so that there's balance and stability in your pelvis. And now the marbles can multiply to as many marbles as you want, and send the marbles back down your legs, a whole bunch of them, to settle in your feet. And allow both feet to spread out on the floor, widening your toes, widening your stance, and letting that weight settle into your feet. And allow yourself to feel grounded and connected to the earth. And draw that energy up from the earth into your body to where you're ready to begin. So that is a way to say thank you to the inside of your body for showing up for you today and for working. I hope that you would feel a little more relaxed and more alert and attentive and ready to proceed. So when we were in class, what we did next was talk about the difference between the inside of us and the outside of us. We looked at portraits and the way a portrait gives you an inside look at a person's soul. And the more artful a portrait is, the more insight you're given into what the person's thinking or feeling or sensing. So think about some pictures that you've seen of people, or look at yourself and think about what's different between what's perceived on the outside and what you know and perceive on the inside. Sometimes we want those things to be different. Sometimes it's essential that those things are different. And sometimes we need them to be congruent. And we can manage stress better when we accept that reality and know that sometimes we have to self-regulate on the inside while projecting something very different. We project a competence and an ability and a smile for the children, even when our insides are scared and uncomfortable. We may need more support ourselves. We can put on a persona of confidence to instill confidence in those around us. And the portrait of what we share on the outside can be congruent with how we're feeling, or it can be designed to exude the message that we choose. And that's a strategy we can use when we're working to be resilient.
I think, Callie, sometimes there's this, I think it's an illusion that what's inside is what we own, and what's on the outside sometimes we can't control. Oh, that's an external factor. And it becomes an excuse or a justification for something. When what you're saying is that my inner landscape, what's happening inside of me, what I know is there is my own, but also what I present to be perceived on the outside is also my own. And that you get to choose whether they're different or congruent, and that there are times when both are beneficial.
Yeah, we are the master of our insides and what we're projecting outside. We can't always decide what other people see or what they interpret. And that's just how it is. We don't get to decide what other people's perspective, but we do get to decide what we project. And being conscious about that can help us be more effective. And these are tough times. And sometimes when we're dealing with parents or principals or a difficult child who's really struggling, it's important that we're conscious about what we're projecting. Our students read our body language and they see our stress and they will internalize it. They need to be able to look into the adult around them, look at their countenance, and to be able to be reassured and see themselves reflected in that adult. And that's an important role we play for children right now.
That reminded me when I was working in middle school and I was a dance teacher and a math educator. When I would wear my hair up in a ponytail, students were always commenting like, "Are you okay, Mrs. Francis? Are you tired, Mrs. Francis?" Because I have this gray hair that they never see because I wear my hair down most of the time. But when I put my hair up in a ponytail and these gray hairs appeared, I feel like the way I presented myself on the outside looked tired or like sad or old, and they were totally responsive to that. And I was always shocked that they paid so much attention.
That's really funny.
But then I had to teach them how much I love my gray hair so that they could learn a little bit more about me and how much the silver streak in my hair was a part of my identity and how cool I thought it was. So even when others don't perceive you correctly, if you have conversation and you have relationships, you have opportunities to have more shared understanding and to get to know each other.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. And where the integrity and the congruency comes from is within those conversations to create shared understanding and get to know each other better.
So tell me why the title of this workshop was Inside, Outside, and Upside Down.
The upside down represents the finding a new perspective. So if we were to dance this idea, we would dance with the energy inside of our body and then put all of those marbles on the outside of our body and finish with an upside down shape, looking at something from a brand new perspective that we haven't seen before. Anytime we're trying to survive something difficult, our creativity is essential. So taking an upside down perspective so we can see through a new lens always has value.
That is really wonderful. I know the teachers enjoyed this workshop, Inside, Outside, Upside Down. I enjoyed going through the experience with you just now. And I hope that even teachers, if they're listening to this podcast in the car, that in their mind's eye, feel those marbles down to their foot on the pedal and into their fingers on the steering wheel. There are times all day long when you can imagine how the marbles are massaging or putting pressure on the inside if you just need to tune in and take an assessment of where you are on the inside.
So our next episode will be about the outside and touch and the skin. So join us next time when we move a little more focus to the outside.
Thanks, Callie.
Artful Teaching is made possible by the BYU Arts Partnership in the McKay School of Education. Thanks to Montgomery Media Arts Institute for the production of this podcast. And special thanks to all the teachers who are changing lives while serving in schools.
If you like what you heard, please leave us a review. You can find all our episodes at advancingartsleadership.com. I'm Heather Francis.
And I'm Callie Flox, wishing you an artful journey.